Cherargei is at it again. Cherargei is back with that, removing the pushing the term limit to 7 years. Presidential term limit equals 7 years from the current 5 years term limit. Na ikuwe mara mbili. He's at it again. And now you're wondering, what's up with these politicians? Why is it that they are so obsessed with just retaining power? Because the same discussion was brought up during Uhuru's era. When Uhuru's last term, they wanted to extend the term limit. And Uhuru categorically said, hataki term limit ingine, he doesn't want to go for another term. Hataki watoe term limit, wachibaki vile iko, ende. And the same akina Cherargei were the one opposing that thing. Now they are the same people who are back with the same term limit and everything, telling us, we are going to do the term limit, we are going to remove the term limit, we need to give Ruto enough time to work, he has not worked, so we have to remove the term limit. So many shenanigans. I want you to watch this video and then I'll come back.
Okay, so why give the president 7 years? Why?
Number two, on the issue of term limit, 7 is a holy number for us who are Christians. Number one. Number two, I've told you, we have subjected this country to continuous campaigning period. We rarely give somebody in office to do. By the way, let me give you an example. We are measuring William Ruto with the 10 years of Kibaki. You hear people saying, Kibaki alichenga Thika Road, but without saying Kibaki legacy or the track record was 10 years. William Ruto has only been in office 2 to 3 years, but you want to use the track record of 10 years to judge somebody in class 2. It's like...
I believe you watched that video, and you can hear categorically how Cherargei is casual. He's just joking about it, making it look like it's just a joke. It's just him having a field day, having fun. He doesn't know the magnitude of what he's saying. But the reality is, will Kenyans allow him to extend the term limit? Kenyans will not allow him. And he knows very well that that thing can't work. There's no any Kenyan will allow that thing to go through. He knows, because the process of removing a term limit, you all know the process. You know the process. What we need to really acknowledge and appreciate the people who designed this constitution is that the process of initiating a referendum is very complex. It's not like the old constitution that we used to have, where the president could say something and the national and then in parliament would enact and your story itakuwa hivyo. There are some things in this constitution you can't change. You can't lead, not even some things, so many things, almost 90%. You can't change without the process of a referendum. And a referendum is so hard to achieve in this country. As currently stands, based on the constitution that we have, it's so hard. But anyway, that's not what I wanted us to talk about. Hey, and before I forget everything, if you are new to this platform and you're coming here for the first time, kindly take a second to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that anytime I post a video, you will always be the first to watch. So let me give you a second to do that. Na kama kawaida, I'll be back. So thank you guys. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed, and for the return subscribers, I really appreciate you guys. And those who have been supporting this platform, right now I have a till number whereby you can keep on supporting and you can keep on helping this platform grow. So aside from your story at Cherargei, I wanted to talk about something that is very important, that has triggered this video of Cherargei. Is what has triggered me to have this discussion. I want us to have this discussion because I feel like if the politicians that are taking over from the old politician, if they continue doing things the same, then this country will never experience any significant change. Because what is wrong with our country is nothing else but politics. If we can change the politics of our country, then we can change so many things. Our politics is in a mess. We have politicians who just think like they're just there to benefit themselves and everything. And this tribal politics has been pushed. This tribal narrative has benefited so many politicians, the old politicians. And they would like that narrative to continue. And they would even like these young people who are now taking over this space of politics. They would like these young people to continue with that mindset of pushing tribal politics and everything. They don't want things to change because that's where they have been benefiting. They have been pushing this tribal narrative for a very long time. But we want to look at it this way. For the people who want to take over power, because I said in this platform, we want to look at how best we can bring good governance in this country, how we can change things, because things need to change. Every time people talk about tribe, right now you see Matiang'i wants to be the president, but you can see the people who are now pushing him more are the people from his community. The Luos are there with Raila. The Kalenjins are there with Ruto. The Kambas are there with Kalonzo. The Gikus are there with Gachagua and the likes. Everyone is just tribal. Everyone is just looking for mtu wetu. So how do we cure this? I've always had a best solution. It is something that can change this country and can change the mindset of this country for a very long time. That we will never have this tribal talk anymore again. And we doesn't need to change the constitution kabisa. We just need to change a few things in that constitution, and everything else can remain the same. Now this is my breakdown. You've heard so many times we have politicians, people who are elected on a party, but when they go to parliament they change their allegiance to another party, and once their party wants to punish them for changing their allegiance, they complain, they go to court and say, no, Mimi, I was elected by the people. This party cannot expel me, yet I was elected by the people. I have the mandate of the people, not the mandate of my party. So there is always that confusion between, and even the courts are confused on how to go about it, because the constitution says you should push the inini of the party, the ideas of the party that you are elected in as parliament. But at the same time, you are elected by the people, so you are representing the people. So someone will come and say, no, my people have decided that I should align with this government, with these people, for the sake of our people, and so many things. So how do we change all these things? And that is the discussion I want us to have today in the comment section. Today, let us avoid this talk of who will inherit who and everything. So this has always been my argument. First and foremost, let us change how we elect our leaders, especially members of parliament and the president. We need to change how we elect these people. We need to come up with a model that makes these people not feel like they are elected directly by citizens. Let us change this model. It's equal like we elect these people directly. The only people that we should elect directly are the MCAs and the governors, because those ones operate directly in our wards, in our counties. Those ones we should elect directly. Like someone should stand up for a governor and is elected directly. You get? And governors and MCAs and everything should not be affiliated to any party. This should just be individuals. But I'll talk about the MCAs and the governors later. Let's remain up with the president and the national and the MPs. This thing is very simple. What we should be doing, in every general election, we should be electing parties. We should be going to vote for parties. We vote instead of in the ballot we are having the president, we are voting for the deputy president, we are voting for for the MPs nanini. We should be voting for parties. That is in the national election. And then the party with the majority. The party with the majority is the party that forms the government. And the party with the second number of support in terms of elections forms the opposition, and it can go into a coalition with the other minority parties that came third, fourth, evil. They all form the opposition. This one, I will tell you how this one will cure corruption, will cure a lot of things. So once the party that has the majority, that has won the election, that has turned out to be the majority, have gotten the majority of the votes across the country, that's the party now. Within its party organs, they should elect who will be the president. Their party leader should be the president. And then their party should be allocated a specific number of seats if we have like 290 members of parliament, we decide like the majority should be maybe 120 or maybe 150. These 150 members of parliament should be elected from the party, from the members of that party. So that these people, when they go to this parliament, they represent the ideology and the meaning of that party. So that it becomes easy, even when a member of parliament from that party becomes rogue, it becomes easy for the party to remove him, because he was placed there for the sake of the party and to push the ideology and the policies of the party. So that when he's in the parliament, he will only act in the interest of the party. The same with the minority, which will now act as the opposition. The opposition party, their leader becomes the opposition, the official opposition leader. You get? And he can even be in the parliament, no problem. But he is also allowed to, now the majority is allocated certain number of seats based on the second party with the majority vote, and the third party and the fourth part and the party that came the fourth place. They are allocated specific number of seats for each one of them. And they elect their MPs, their members of parliament. They elect their members of parliament from the party organs, from their party members. They are elected and they go there. They present the interest of the party. That way, it will prevent a lot of party hopping. There will never be a party hopping. Now let's come to these parties. These parties, they should be a structure in such a way that we can't have parties being formed left, right and center, kesho asubuhi na mchana. No. For a party to be eligible to stand for an election, it must have existed more than 5 years. It must be in place more than 5 years. Not even more. We can say even more than 7 years. So that we don't have parties being formed 5 years to election, 5 years to election. No. The party must have existed. We can even say 10 years. It must have been in place for 10 years. And that party must have branches in all over the country. It must have members all over the country and branches all over the 47 counties. And these parties must have party organs that are deep. Like, kunafaa kuwe na parties ziko in every county with party organs and everything. So this thing will cure people forming parties left, right and center, left, right and center. Unaelewa? And there is a certain threshold that you must meet for your party to be eligible to be on the ballot in the general election. We can set those thresholds for amongst ourselves. What are these thresholds that we are looking at? We can always come up with those thresholds. Why are we saying this? Because we want parties to have a national face. The reason I'm saying that these parties must have branches in 47 counties is that we want parties that have a national face. Not a tribal face that in party ya Kikuyu, in party ya Jaluo, in party ya nini. No. We must have parties that have a national face. And every 2 years and a year to election, because this party will always have members. Kenyans can be members of any party if they feel we need to. But a year to election, members should be allowed, Kenyans should be allowed to change their membership from one party to another if they feel like they are not comfortable with the ideology and the meaning of that party. And that party should always have a party organ and whereby a delegate, whereby they can vote out the chairman and bring in another chairman. So if a president is rogue, their party can punish him and can remove him. The same way it more or less like what happens in South Africa. We need to have that model. That way we will cure tribalism in this country. Because right now, we will not have, of course, members of people, these politicians that we have currently cannot allow that kind of a system because what currently is there is benefiting them. But the young people that are coming into political space, there are some things we need to change if we want to cure tribalism in this country. That is one of them. You get? So we can have a president that is elected directly by the majority party. If he becomes rogue, his party can impeach him, his party can remove him from being the chairman. And the moment he ceases to be the chairman of that party, then he ceases to be the president. What if the president goes rogue, but his party still insists on retaining him, then the impeachment can come through the National Assembly or through the members of that Kenyans in that party. They can initiate an impeachment or a referendum, or not even a referendum, an impeachment to remove him. Because remember, that party, for it to be eligible for the next election, it must have a certain threshold of members, of people who are members of that party. So members can withdraw their membership and move to another party. And once members withdraw their membership and move to another party, that party ceases to even stand for another election. So parties will always make sure that they serve the interest of the people of Kenyans at all times. You get? And once a party takes power and elects, and their party leader becomes the president, their party leader is now allowed to appoint ministers and everything. And all these people will always serve the interest of that party. So that when the party does not fulfill its promises, it doesn't now goes back to Nini. It remains Nini. It remains the mistake or the setback of that particular party. Another thing, the reason why we are removing members of parliament from being elected directly by the people is that we want to give, their role is to legislate and to oversight. Hii mambo ya CDF, CG members of parliament are now focusing on CG roads na nini. That is where we are getting it all wrong. Roads and schools and everything in county should now remain the strict role of the MCAs and the governors. It is the governor who is supposed to watch to see barabara zangu zimejengwa, hospitali kwa county yangu zimefanywa, everything. And then the president focuses on national issues and national development and general development of the country. That way we'll have cured politics. We will have removed full politics from the National Assembly, from the national government, and focus hata kama kuna tribal politics and nini, itabaki kwa counties. So each county will deal with their own problem. But when it comes to National Assembly, people know that there is no option. Hapa hakuna choice ya kukua tribal. You get? And for you to win an election, for your party to be considered that it has won a general election, we must also put a cap. That party must get support, must have been voted out of the 47 counties, must have won at least 27 counties. At least equal a slight super majority, not just 23. At least by 20, whichever party will be the first to cross 27 counties in terms of votes, in terms of winning in the 27 counties, that is the party that will have been declared to have won the election. And this one will help a lot of things, because no matter how tribal your party is, that party will know that for us to win this election, we need other counties. We need support from other counties as well. So hata kama party it was formed by people from Central, they know no matter what even if wakipiga hesabu gani, they need support from Nyanza. They need counties from Nyanza. And counties from Nyanza the same. A party that is formed by a person from Nyanza will need the same. Everything. So hakutakuwa na room for being tribal, because you will understand, no matter how much I would like nini, but you understand that, hey, my county, for us to even win this thing, then we need to, lazima niongeleshe wale watu wa Nyanza vizuri, lazima niongeleshe wale watu wa Western vizuri, you get, so that they can join this party, they can be members of this party. And that is how parties will start now selling ideology, and that is now how Kenyans will start now listening to ideology. So the first biggest change, if you want to change the political landscape of this country and do away with the old politics, we need to change how we vote, how we elect our president and our members of parliament, because those are the biggest beneficiary of tribal politics, and that's why they keep on pushing tribal politics. Right now you can see even the president, people are just, watu wanaongea tu ati sasa Matiang'i akaona how many votes, Raila analeta how many votes. We can see even how Gachagua has been speaking ati Wakamba nyinyi mko na votes ngapi. That is what we need to do away with, and that one can be cured very, very, very easily through that structure that I've shared. the idea is just a rough idea, but we can expound on it. People can bring in idea and make it look like we can just develop it. But the bottom line is we need to change our tribal politics. We need to change how we vote. We need to change how we elect leaders. Because it's easy to you see how South Africa, they impeach their president akileta nini very easily. So that is what needs to be done. Let us put in such a way that we elect parties, not individuals. And then these parties now gives us member of parliament. And this one can also cure that enemy of 2/3 gender rule. Because if your party has been has been said to, like, imepatiwa maybe 150 seats as in parliament, for you to control, to bring that gender balance, now you are being told for your party now ensure that you have equal number of men and women in terms when you are electing the members of parliament. When you are selecting the members of parliament, in this equal number of women, make sure you have a certain number of young people, a certain number of people with disability. It's okay, you can balance it within the party, you get, and you achieve that 2/3 gender rule rahisi bila a lot of drama and a lot of chaos. But anyway guys, this is just my idea. What do you think? Is it a good idea? How can we expound the idea? How can we make it look beautiful, make it more better, and bring in more and the idea to make it look big? Share it in the comment section, but above it all, remain respectful. Don't insult anyone, as I always insist. And to wrap it up, ensure that you support this platform. My number is always there. The till number is always there. Rusha kakitu. Support this platform so that it can grow and all that. Thank you. Until next time. Bye-bye.
The African Update.